Welcome to another edition of Anthony T's Horror Collection. I'm Anthony T. In this edition, I'm going to go over all the stuff that I picked up at ScareCon New England. I had a fun time there. I had a booth over there. I want to thank everyone for stopping by at the booth during the convention. As I got rid of all 30 CDs. So I will definitely have a Best of Anthony T's Horror show in the near future, so if you didn't get a CD, don't worry about it, as I have plans on doing a best of show. Now, this edition is all the stuff that I brought at ScareCon New England. When I go to horror conventions, whether I have a booth or just as a regular fan, I will buy a lot of stuff. Some of it maybe clothes, some of it maybe Funkos, and some of it maybe, yes, you guessed it, films. So, I'm here to tell you there's a lot of stuff I picked up at ScareCon New England. I hope you enjoyed this show. And don't forget to subscribe here on Anthony T's Horror Show on YouTube. And follow my show on social media on Facebook and Instagram at Anthony T's Horror Show, and Twitter at Anthony T's Horror. And now, I present to you all the stuff that I picked up at ScareCon New England. The first films that I've picked up at ScareCon New England are films that I picked up at the Boombastic Films booth. Definitely check them out on Facebook. They're films that pretty much are mostly related to Boombastic CEO Matthew Fisher and the various projects that he was in, as there's only literally one title in this bunch that's actually released by Boombastic Films, but all the other titles are nationally distributed. First, we got the documentary VHS Lives, VHS Lives 2 on Dead Format. They're both pretty much documentaries on the VHS days. Then we got The House Across the Street, starring Jessica Sonnenbahn from The Haunting of Alice D. and Bloody Bloody Bible Camp. So I can't wait to check that film out because she's a very talented actress. Then I got To Die For, which is more like a horror anthology film, which Matthew Fisher was involved in. I can't wait to check that one out, as that looks interesting. And I also got Matthew Fisher's latest film, Insomniac. I haven't seen it yet. Like many of the films here, I haven't seen. But Boombastic Films already has two very good titles, Groundhog, and also the non-horror film DJ Stan the Man, which is a funny comedy, which people should check out if you're a fan of comedies. Definitely hit up Boombastic Films on Facebook. And they also will have an interview. I'll have an interview with them on Anthony T's Horror Show when I have my ScareCon edition, if it isn't already out by now. It depends on which gets out first, this or the ScareCon New England edition. So definitely check that interview out. Next, I have a bunch of films from Mad Angels Films. Films directed by Matthew A. Peters. I also have an interview with him on my ScareCon New England edition of Anthony T's Horror Show. But I picked up pretty much 4 or 5 films there. One's a comedy, so we pretty much won't get into that, since this is all about horror. But first, I picked up Savage Christmas, which looks like an interesting film from the cover of it. Then Half Dead, which looks like a very gory film, as you can see. Then Then I got 3 Days in the Woods, which is pretty much more like an exploitation type film. Then I have Brackish, which also looks interesting too. I can't wait to check these films out from Mad Angel Films. You can check them out on Facebook as well. My next films are a bunch of films I picked up at the Terror Realm booth at ScareCon New England. Very nice people there. Definitely support them at various conventions they attend. The first film that I picked up was The Puppet Masters. Now, this film is a film I've wanted to pick up for a while on Blu-ray, but haven't had the time. I've seen this film already back in the 90s, liked it. Stars Donald Sutherland. He's very good in that film. Definitely check that film out. I'll give it maybe like 3.5, 4 stars. Then the next film is Rawhead Rex. I've never seen this film, but this has a screenplay written by Clive Barker, so definitely attracted me to pick it up. And it has this nice little slipcase, as you can see here. As you look here, it's in a nice, comfortable case too, besides the Blu-ray in it. So it's cool to get, so I definitely picked that up. The third film is Witchboard 2: The Devil's Doorway. That's a film I haven't seen yet. It's directed by Kevin Tierney from Night of the Demons and Witchboard. And I like the original Witchboard film as well, so I can't wait to check this film out. Then I go down here, the special edition of Popcorn. I've always wanted to see this film, but I never had the time to. So I'm happy I grabbed that film while I was there. And this looks like a very loaded disc as well, so can't wait to check that out. Then I'm on to a film called The Power, which I have no knowledge about, never seen a trailer, going into this blind. But it does have a very cool poster art, so sometimes the poster art will attract me to pick a film up, which is the case here with The Power. Then, and finally, In Search of Lovecraft. Now, this is an indie horror film starring Rachel Robbins. I can't wait to check this out. This film played at the 2008 H.P. Lovecraft Film Festival. It also has a very cool looking poster, which, of course, attracts me to buy. Sorry, I'm one of those people where if you get good poster art, chances are I might buy it at a convention. Next set of films from the Terror Realm booth that I picked up were films Scream Factory. And of course, I'm a big Scream Factory person, so I'm going to pick up Scream Factory titles if I can. The first one is Brain Scan, a film I've been wanting to pick up for a while. It is a good film, haven't seen it in ages. Stars Edward Furlong and Frank Langella. It's going to be an interesting second viewing of this film to see if it stands up with the updates in technology and everything in which this film deals with. Back, I believe, in the 90s that this film was released. Yep, 94. So it's been a while since this has been out. So that's a film I'm looking forward to check out again. I enjoyed it the first time around, but I saw it, I think, when I was in probably 95, 96. So it's been a while since I've seen this film, so I can't wait to see this again. Next up is Stephen King's Firestarter. Now, I've never seen Firestarter, but I'm very interested in seeing this film. First, it has Drew Barrymore in it, and one of her, what a lot of people are saying, one of her best roles. It also has George C. Scott, Martin Sheen, So I'll be getting to that soon. Next is the It's Alive trilogy. Now, I'm kind of more fascinated with Larry Cohen's films ever since seeing Q the Winged Serpent on The Last Drive-In. I'm surprised I didn't get that title, as I didn't see it there, but I could probably missed it. But I definitely wanted to check out the It's Alive trilogy. It's one of the things he's most known for. It's pretty much a 3-film set with It's Alive, It Lives Again, and Island of the Alive. And finally, The Howling 3. I've never seen The Howling 3, but I'm a big fan of the first 2 films, so I really cannot wait to check this out for the first time. It'll be an interesting view, because the second film was more like a guilty pleasure, while the first film was a classic. So it's going to be interesting seeing this film again. Actually seeing it for the first time. Sorry about it, but I'm filming this after a long fun weekend at ScareCon New England, so don't mind me. And that's all the DVDs and Blu-rays I picked up at the Terror Realm booth. My final purchase at the Terror Realm booth is my first ever Chase variant Funko Pop. And there was no way I was going to pass this up. I had to get this. I'm talking about good old Georgie from It, as I already have the other Georgie as well. So it's very nice to get this one. I really liked the way this one looked, so I didn't have any problem picking it up. And got a good deal for it too, so I can't complain. So that's why I really pulled the trigger and picked this up. And it's definitely, I think, one of my favorite Funkos. Definitely support Terror Realm. They're on Facebook at Terror Realm. And you can find more information on that vendor. The next set of stuff that I picked up was over at Garo Nagosian's booth. First, I picked up Delta Died. Now, this film stars Julie Strain, Brink Stevens, and Tiffany Shepis. I don't know why I sold it, because I thought it was a good film. Maybe just to make clearance space in my collection or something, but at least I get a chance to see it again, which I will eventually. And I also got a Dangerous People poster. I can't say this enough. Definitely buy this film on DVD and Blu-ray over on Amazon.com. It's also, I believe, available on VOD there too, which you have to pay for it, which sucks. But definitely support this film. It's a very good film. And it's a very trippy 70s serial killer type film with former Playboy model Angelina Lay in one of the starring roles. So definitely pick this film up on DVD and Blu-ray on Amazon.com. Now, I picked up a lot of shirts as well at this convention. First up is that Strange Shows No Wolf, No Potty shirt. Thought it was a cool looking shirt. Picked it up. I would definitely recommend you check out that Strange Show podcast. And congratulations to them, for winning Most Humorous Podcast at the ScareCon New England Podcast Awards. You can find their shows on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play, and also on the Darkening Network. And speaking of the Darkening, I also have their shirt as well. As you can see, all nice and wrapped. They can be found on YouTube and iTunes. You can also listen to the Darkening live as they do a live show every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. on YouTube and Facebook, and Wicked Horror Show every Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. on YouTube and Facebook as well. And finally, the Dark Discussions podcast shirt. As I didn't get one, but two. The other one I don't have at the moment, but here's one of the two that I ended up with. I can't say how proud I am to be on the Dark Discussions network. Felt Perone is a great guy. Definitely check out his podcast, Dark Discussions Podcast, every week there, as it's available on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and Spotify. And if you want to see the other shirt I have, you can head over to Anthony T's Horror Show on Instagram, as I have a picture of it up on the Instagram page. So definitely check out the other shirt as well. Next up, I have 3 more shirts, including a Happy Death Day to You shirt. I got this off of Chris from Radio of Horror. Definitely give their channel a subscribe. This is really a cool looking shirt, I have to admit, for Happy Death Day to You. My thoughts on the film was it was okay. If you've seen the first film, it's pretty much the same, but it has more of a sci-fi feel to it. Then I'm going to move on down to the next shirt, which is Welcome to Twin Peaks. Now, this is a show I really love a lot. I've been trying to get one of these shirts for probably about a year now, but I'm happy that I was able to get one of these shirts. And finally, the Scaricon t-shirt for this year. I knew when I go to conventions, I always like to get the con shirt. Usually they come out with a new one every year. So this was definitely a no-brainer that I was going to pick up one for myself. So to remember this con by, so I had to do it. And plus it's Art the Clown, so I'm going to get it because I love Terrifier a lot. Now, I also picked up a couple of shirts from Dead End Threads as well. First, you have this nice looking basket case themed shirt, as this is what's on the front. In the back, it has also a nice thing on it, which really I thought was really cool. What's in the basket? Love it. I knew I had to pick it up, so I really like this shirt a lot. And the other shirt that I came across that I really liked was these nice little their variation of the Fright Balls. As you can clearly see here, this looks so cool. It was another shirt that I really could not pass up. So there's a lot of shirts I picked up at this convention. But these two are definitely the most creative ones I've seen at the convention. So I knew I had to pick this up for myself. The final shirt that I have in my collection of shirts that I picked up at Scarecon New England is this neat looking homage to drive-in posters, as this is really a good piece of art from the Stalking Dead booth. As you see, you get Dracula, House of the Living Dead, Frankenstein's monster. I did interview the person behind the Stalking Dead. You will get to hear it on Anthony T's Horror Show. I think I also went into this as well. In my interview, you'll get to hear that too. But this is definitely one of my favorite shirts I picked up all weekend over at Scarecon New England. Next up are a bunch of stickers that I picked up from artist Alex Hoey's table. As you can see, he had 2 of his Art the Clown sketches, one regular and one all bloody up. Personally, I love the Bloody Up one the most. Then the next one, you had Victor Crowley, of course, from the Hatchet series, which is cool looking. Then we got good old Sam from Trick or Treat. I am a major fan of this film. Definitely support artist Alex Hoey on Patreon. He's also on Facebook too. I believe the page is The Art by Alex Hoey. And you can find more information on his Patreon there as well. But definitely support your local artists. The next thing that I have here that I picked up at ScareCon New England was a couple things over at the Mad Z Productions booth. As you can see, I picked up this comic, Coco Blaze Undead Killer. And I also have some trading cards too, as they plan to make a web series based off this comic over here. As you can see, here's some of the cards that came in the package as well. That should be in production very soon. Hopefully, if once it comes out, I'll have the creator, Dave Zagorski, on to talk about it. As this looks pretty badass. Can't wait to see this web series come out. The next item that I picked up at ScareCon New England is Virgin Vampires, or Once Upon a Time in Transylvania. Now, this is a graphic novel by Douglas Brody and Joe Orzak. I recently had a chance to chat with Joe Orzak on Anthony T's Horror Show, which may or may not be up by the time this video is up. So, if not, it will be coming soon. I thought it was a very good chat. I really cannot wait to read this graphic novel, as this has a Hammer horror type feel to it. So I can't wait to really check this graphic novel out. Next up is an autographed poster and autographed Blu-ray of The Ranger. Now, The Ranger autographed Blu-ray, I just want to let you know I picked up. Now, this is autographed by actor Jeremy Holm, who is a very nice guy, very fun guy to be with all weekend. In fact, he's probably my favorite celebrity. I wouldn't say, in fact, I say definitely my favorite celebrity that I hung out with all weekend. Of all the celebrities I met, as you can see, thanks, man, the poster, which was nice because originally I just wanted the Blu-ray reviewed, autographed, but I was very thankful that he also was nice enough to also include an autographed poster. He's definitely one cool person that should do a lot of conventions after this role, because he's definitely great in The Ranger. This is a great film. Now I'm going to go to the Blu-ray, which I also recently purchased. Not at the con, but right before the con, because I really liked this film a lot when I saw this film on Shudder. And as you can see, we wrote Take Nothing But Pictures. One of the lines from the film. It is a very good film. I cannot highly recommend this film enough. This is definitely one of the best films I've seen all year. And definitely check out The Rangers on Shudder right now. And definitely stop by his booth when he does more conventions, because I really think he's a very talented actor, and you probably will see him more on the convention scene soon, because I really think The Ranger will have a following. Next up is another couple of autographed Blu-rays that I had. Again, I had them in my Blu-ray library, but I wanted to bring the Blu-ray covers to ScareCon New England because I wanted the directors to sign the Blu-ray cover, because it feels more special to have that Blu-ray cover signed than just a random 8x10. It's something of their work, and I wanted it to be signed because they're both great films. First, to start with Phantasm. It was a very nice pleasure to meet Don Coscarelli. Very nice person. Took a couple pictures with him. He's really also another favorite person I met over the weekend, alongside David Howard Thornton and Jeremy Holm. And also got an autograph from Reggie Bannister, who's also a very nice person as well. I had a good time in the Phantasm area of the convention. Then we go to the Terrified Blu-ray. As you can see, it's autographed by Damien Leone. I love the fact that this film is autographed by him. I probably should have had David Howard Thornton autograph this as well. But, I just totally forgot about it at the time. Plus, that 8x10 is so creepy that I wanted it. So, it was very nice having a panel with David Leone, as I was a part of the indie film panel, filmmaking panel as well. As that was a fun time doing. It was nice hanging out with him at the convention, only for a couple minutes, but still, he was cool and everything between that and the panels. So I really enjoyed meeting Damien Leone. I hope he comes back and does more conventions, because he and David Howard Thornton are two people that truly want to be there at conventions and are there for the fans. And finally, my autograph of David Howard Thornton, who plays out the clown in Terrifier. Now, this is the UK poster of the film, whereas you can see some of the publications like Starburst and Farsighted. These seem to be like UK publications. And you can also see that this is very creepy as hell, as this really is another good way to sell your film. Make sure your poster has a creepy vibe to it. And this UK poster did. And as you can see on the autograph right here, it was nicely said, Anthony, kill you next time. David Howard Thornton, a.k.a. Art the Clown. Well, as we go over here, later, I believe that was the next day, Saturday, my photo op with David Howard Thornton. It was a fun photo op. I liked this photo a lot. And it's one of my favorite things that I had at ScareCon New England. That and pretty much hanging out with Jeremy Holm. He's a very fun guy. So with that, have a good day. Support indie horror. And don't forget to subscribe to Anthony T's Horror Show, as this channel is just more than the podcast.